Bang, Neeves Knives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife Kara's busy right now, and today we are checking out the Ferum Forward Stinger. This knife's pretty damn cool. Lavender Pants 86 sent me this to check out. What an awesome dude. He's supported our channel for so long, and we appreciate all the support we've ever gotten from him. What an awesome dude. So this knife is, like I said, a Ferum Forge knife built by We. I'm pretty sure We makes the parts, sends it to Ferum Forge. Ferum Forge puts together, does all the fitment, putting all the pieces together, and then mails them out. That's why it does come from Ferum Forge when you buy them. This is a under $100 knife, which is really awesome. It's around 90 bucks, and man, they do great work. We have the mini Archbishop, and it's a little small for me, but I liked it so much that this was definitely a knife that was on my radar. Now, this ain't mine, but I almost got it. Now, it does come in different colors. I think they also have a carbon fiber version. But let's get into this knife right now. The good and the bad of the Stinger. So this knife is about 7¼ inches long, so just over 7 inches, with a 3¼ inch blade. So just over 3-inch blade. Let's do some quick size comparisons. Couple knives that people a lot of people know pretty well. The Benchmade Bug Out. They are very, very similar in size. The Bug Out being just a tiny smidgen longer. And then here is the Benchmade Reptilian, which is obviously longer. And then let's get something let's see if we can match up the size. Here's the Zero Tolerance 0450. Very, very close to that. And a knife that's smaller. Let's do the Civivi Elementum. So you can see it's a little bit bigger than the Civivi Elementum. Let's get into this knife. Now, I did sharpen this knife, and I did it because I couldn't help myself. I did test it out a bit. And let's get into all of that. First up, the action. So this thing has a very small flipper tab. You see that it does have some of my skin in the jimping. So the jimping, it does have some good jimping, and the jimping is the type of jimping that's sharp. So it does get you in a good way. Like, it's not slippery. It's actually very grippy. You can feel it. But the detent is finely tuned to where it doesn't hurt you to keep flipping. You can use the flipper tab as the light switch, or you can use it as a push button, and it rockets out both ways. It also has this groove right here that is fairly sharp, and you can middle finger flick it, or you can even thumb flick it, and both are fairly easy. I wouldn't think that the thumb flick would be so easy on this, but it very much is. The detent, when you do unlock it, and the block bar, pretty easy to get to. Could be easier, but it's not hard. It's just not insanely easy, but it's not hard. So you unlock it, detent ball's right there, so nice and early, where if you let the flipper tab hit your finger on the way down, you're past the detent ball, and you can let it roll. Now, it's not crazy drop shutty, but you can easily slap it once and it shuts. So it's not just gonna fall shut. It does take some wiggles, but like I said, very easy to slap down there. The detent is nice and crisp. Like these detents, feels very, very good. And it does have good quality hardware. G10 backspacer, steel liners. This is Nitro V. So let's get to this blade now. Beautiful drop point blade. Love this blade shape. Love the grind. Nice thin blade stock. If my phone, nice thin blade stock, and it gets down to about 15 thousandths behind the edge. I measured this one just under 15 thousandths. Beautiful finger choil for choking up. You can get a great grip on it, especially for such a thin knife, because it is a very thin, lightweight knife, but the blade geometry is done very well for a user. You can easily get to the tip. You can easily do good push cuts. It does have a little bit of belly there for slicing, and this Nitro V takes a screaming sharp edge. Very, very nice. Also, since this finger choil is like this, they got a beautiful sharpening choil here. I love it when you see, like, the plunge grind's way back here. I love that they give you all that room. You have so much room to get many, many sharpenings without it looking like you sharpened it to death. You could literally sharpen the heck out of this thing and still have plenty of room to go. That is finely done, nice and even. This is nice and contoured, feels really good on the finger. Now sharpening it, it was mostly even from one side to the other. The only spot was right here at the tip, which, if you know, just about every, I don't care here, you know, here's a factory edge right here. Just about every factory edge comes off. Like, you see this side versus this side, completely different. See how small the bevel is compared to this side? That's just the way factory grinds are. So it's your job as you sharpen to line them up just right. And sometimes it takes more than one sharpening to get them perfect. Now, you can do it all in one sharpening, but you're just going to be removing steel you don't need to. I followed the same angle that they used on this already. I just put a little bit better of an edge on there, a little bit sharper, a little bit finer, and it's very, very nice. And I also evened them up a little bit. It was pretty even already. Like I said, the tip was the worst part. It looked like when they were sharpening it, they like rolled it as they came off of it. And that happens. I mean, that's just the way factory edges are. So you see the Nitro V right there, and you see that I need to clean this up. So you see the Nitro V symbol right there. The G10 is pretty good G10. It's okay. I find it's the same G10 that they're using over here on their Civivis. And like I've said before, the G10 could be better. Let's get into that, because there are a lot of great things here, but let's get into some bad now. One, they use T6s. Why would they use T6s? I do not like the T6s, but they did use them. Now, I did not take this apart, so underneath, this could be T8s underneath. I don't know, but I do see that even the clip is a T6, even though this clip is done extremely well. This is like my favorite type of clip. It's inset, the screws set inset. There's nothing in the way of slipping your pocket in and out of there, and it works fantastically. But T6s, the G10, crap G10. I do not like their G10. I think it could be far better. I kind of feel, it feels like FRN kind of. And I don't really like FRN. I understand FRN on some models, and some models do it well, but I do not think that they did. I think this, or I don't think their G10 on this is done very well. Next thing, the detent track, if you can see it, it's right there. You see the detent hole right there? Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you see this is, you see the stop pin right there, and then you see it's a collared stop to it. So it's got a collar right there to stop against the stop pin. Well, right above that is the detent hole. Do you see that detent hole? Right there, there's that detent hole. So that's right on the track right here. That's where the track goes for the detent. So you have the detent right there that falls into that hole. But you see how it's right there on the edge. So when you're cutting stuff, it's very easy for stuff to get in there. So it's very easy for this thing to get gritty. I found that this thing got very, very gritty very, very fast. So, you know, I wouldn't consider it something that you're going to want to bring onto the job site even though I think it would be a heck of a work knife. I mean, if you don't really worry about that stuff, it does have ceramic bearings, a ceramic detent ball, which is good because ceramic bearings are self-lubricating. And that helps get it out quick. So I did notice it did go away pretty quick. But I did notice that like this whole track right here was black. And it was gritty. And now it's gone. And I really didn't do much but oil it. And it's back to good, but it was pretty gritty. Now, another thing is that, you know, I did notice right here, because of this jimping being pretty sharp, you know, I like that it's that sharp for this part, but right here, you know, it can get a little sharp right there. It's not that big of a deal, and when I'm like this, my hand's kind of actually away from it, but if you do hold it like this, you're gonna feel that jimping. It's not that big of a deal, because who the heck holds this knife like this? You hold it like this, so it's not really a complaint. I'm just saying, you know, it is a thing right there. I noticed it when I was sharpening it. That's when I really noticed it. So I didn't really notice it when I was cutting or anything like that. So the next thing, which I kind of consider good and bad at the same time. So now you see this Stonewash. It's a decent Stonewash, but I wish it was more stonewashed. It's kind of like a bead blasted Stonewash. It's kind of like right there, you see how it's stonewashed? It looks really good. Kind of. But I just wish it was more like this, like more of a Stonewash. Because this will definitely, you know, it's Nitro V, so you don't have to worry about the rust really. But I feel like it's going to show a lot more scratches faster than if it was, you know, just a different kind of Stonewash. I wish I had one sitting right here to specifically show you, but oh, you know what? Here we go. I wish it was more kind of like this. Just a little bit more nicked up. Like you see how that Stonewash is versus this Stonewash? This one just looks like it could have tumbled a little bit longer. Is it that big of a deal? No, it's not. And I'm bitching for nothing because it's still a great Stonewash. So I'm not really saying that's a bad, because I like that they did a Stonewash. I just think it could be a little bit harder of a Stonewash. Now, that being said, it has a great color to it. And if it was a D2, then I would be saying it's probably going to rust. But action's fantastic. I love the ergos. I love the carry on this. I think this is a fantastic knife. The jimping back here works so good. I love their jimping. You really lock in. The blade geometry is amazing. A lot of great things here. And also, the lock geometry is done so good. I noticed that also on the Ferum Forge Mini Archbishop. That was done so well. It just lines right in there really good. And you can kind of hear it too when you lock it in. Like it really locks in place and it's nice and solid. So great knife. I do like the knife a lot. There you go. The Ferum Forge Stinger. Thanks, Pants. Peace.